or fair.
Right.
And people who gave up their ultimate sacrifice because
Right.
their lives.
And they're still suffering.
And they're still suffering because I also talk about a friend of mine who died from years later from the breathing in the air, the soot down there, the debris.
The lung issues.
Yes, he had lung issues and he had cancer.
And there was no support.
And there was no support. So you had the activist, I can't think of his name, but he was a late night.
John.
Something. John's. Yeah, I see his face.
Yeah, Trevor Noah took over his show. I can't.
Yes.
I know you know.
Oh my goodness, I love that man.
Yeah, I know it wasn't John Gotti.
No, it wasn't. And see, that's what I want to say about Giuliani.
Yeah.
And I'll get onto that because that's what he did with New York City.
Right.
He showed that he was able to clean up the city in that way. And so with Jon Stewart, maybe?
Jon Stewart.
Yeah, Jon Stewart.
I was trying to Google it quick.
Yeah, so he fought so hard, but so many of them didn't get a chance to see the fruit of their labor because they had bills that needed to be paid.
Right.
You know, families that needed to take care of when they weren't around. So with that being said, Giuliani did show a part of him that was like a fighter, cleaning up the mob, cleaning up New York City, but then he kind of like fell short.
Right.
With helping those who needed him the most.
Then
You're getting pretty big now.
When you talk about something else here, I'd like to hear your input on this. The White House.
Yes. Now, the White House is very interesting. I didn't get into that too much. I'm still thinking about adding a little bit more to that. But me and my son took a tour of the White House.
Okay.
And
what year was this?
Let's see.
Or what president was this, I should say?
Clinton.
Okay.
Clinton was in office. So I have to reflect on.
The first
I think
black
it's 93.
president.
Yeah, I think it's 93. The first black president. No, I think it's second because a lot of people think Lincoln was our first black president.
No!
And Clinton was our second black president.
Okay.
Yes. And so with that being said, yes. So we had a tour of the White House, but I also learned something about what I didn't see in the White House was a picture of Martin Luther King.
Oh.
I thought I would see one. Also because we have the same birthday, I thought I would see one because he was.
You didn't see a picture of him?
I did not see a picture of Martin Luther King.
Did you leave a note on there on the desk?
No.
It probably wasn't allowed.
No. But I was hoping so. But you know what? Every president bring their own
feel.
Yeah, their own feel that people that hang out
with.
But
you know, things like that should be permanent. It should be a permanent fixture.
You know, and it was a sweet thing that President Obama had the head of Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Yes, that was very beautiful for him to have it there. I thought that was great. It's also something that he believed in and he fight for too.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that's on.
You know, I listened to you say you visited the White House. I remember when I was 16 years old, we visited Washington a couple of times, and I walked the monument.
Yes.
Amen. 582 steps from the bottom to the top.
You did. I haven't had a chance to go there.
I'm telling you, but at that time, I just looked at Washington as the greatest place in the world, the gestures and everything. And it was so sad later to find out that this world of Washington and everywhere, it was just a system that was distorted.
Almost like a secret society type of thing, you know. That's why they always talk about the Beltway. You know, that Beltway thing. I was like, what in the world is that? And then they talk about politics as though it's a foreign language. And I'm like, well, I rode through D.C. I know people who live in D.C. I've talked to people in D.C. So help me understand what you mean by things are different. And so reflecting on that, I'm like, yeah, things are different. Because once you get into that group or organization or whatever, things are different. It's harder for them to get laws done. It's harder for them to accomplish anything that will satisfy the majority of the people because it's always an issue. So it is foreign. And when you get to that level, it's very foreign to people like us. Very foreign.
And it's probably foreign to them because of the division.
Yes.
See, it's so divided. They're always at war. So it's like a foreign.
It have to be my enemy.
Definitely.
You know, so it's sad to say that only thing can be developed that comes out of something. There has to be a unity.
But see, that's going to be very difficult because Washington has always been what they call the white man's government.
Right.
And so it's almost like when the people came over and they took the land from the Indians. So it's almost to say that the power is very distributed, very between people, between their own little sorority fraternity type of thing. And so to see the big Washington with the Capitol, who's supposed to symbolize is democracy, we know on January 6th what that democracy looked like.
Oh, man.
And to know what they did, not only to the Capitol or what happened in the Capitol, but people actually, from what I heard, defecated in the Capitol.
Yeah,
so that means you just saying in the word, you're crapping all over democracy.
I just can't.
Right.
I can't understand, and I still won't understand how this wasn't enough to impeach a president out of office immediately, permanent.
Because they, what I learned in the police department from someone after working there for a while, and I'm feeling like you're feeling. I'm like, well, how come there can't be more done, and why people are doing? You know what someone told me?
Do tell.
Because laws are not made for the innocent; they're made for the crooks.
Well, that's true.
I'm like, okay, well, y'all out there every day, you would know.
Well, you know
because
what?
you got to go to court, so that means you got to know. You sitting there and you on the stand, and you got to